So now innocent people are driving by. Watch what he does.
Discovering it is jammed, she discards the pistol as she runs away, and the gunman walks towards Blue Lakes Boulevard North. The gunman fires at multiple vehicles that are stopped at red lights.
Starts shooting at the
striking
cars?
victims.
Listen, he starts shooting at cars driving on a regular road.
Oh my God. Sick.
So then, he comes back.
A good Samaritan with a handgun engages the gunman who is running north towards the Tesla charging station.
Right. Yeah. So you see the guy right there charging his car in his Tesla. Look what he does to him. Watch.
The gunman shoots the 8th victim in the first Tesla. He then shoots the 3rd deceased victim, Dale Schultz, and his passenger, the 10th victim, in the 2nd Tesla.
Deceased.
The gunman proceeds through the parking
You're
lot
sitting
towards
in
the
your
Twin Falls
Tesla
Visitor
charging
Center.
your car.
He is seen by people inside who evacuate the store.
This is just sick.
This is just sick.
He's just killing arbitrarily. He doesn't
Then he goes,
care who it is.
then he goes to
There's
a
no reason.
trail and he talks to some person that works there that kind of delays him. Then the cops show up, and then when they surround him, like the coward that he is, he shoots himself in the.
So how many fast food workers do we have in America that are young kids? How many
Hundreds of
parents do
thousands.
you have right now? Now imagine you're a parent, your kid works at McDonald's, works at Burger King, works at Wendy's, works at In-N-Out. Every day your kid goes to work, this could happen anywhere. So now, how do you process this right here, Tom? Now that you see the video going from the beginning to the end, how do you react to it? I have a lot of thoughts. I'm curious to know what you think about it.
So, first of all, I know this area. Kim, myself, the girls, we've been to this exact In-N-Out a dozen times. Right across Canyon Rim Trail, where he ultimately shot himself, is where my father-in-law lives, right there in Twin Falls. And this guy was just absolutely disturbed. We can talk about him all day long. But what I was amazed at the video, how many times did he say Good Samaritan? It's because the people, there is a reason that Idaho is number 50 in muggings and in crime, because there's a 62% chance someone's going to be armed. And I want, in the midst of the tragedy, I honestly was sitting there thinking to myself, how many times was he interrupted by a citizen with a weapon? A citizen with a weapon deterred him from the main street where he was indiscriminately shooting at those cars that came back. And it's just, and this is before the police could arrive and set up perimeter and do with this. And so I'm very pleased that trained, responsible citizens were part of this. And I think people are going to talk about the tragedy side of it, which is number one in the headline, and people just charging their Tesla. 2 of them get shot in the front seat of their cars, sitting there in a Tesla, waiting the 20 minutes for it to get about an 80% charge. That was a supercharger station. But how, the second point I go to is, if it wasn't for the Good Samaritans there, how much worse could this have been?
Yeah, so to me, the first thing that I get is, whatever you do, get a gun. Follow the guidelines of your state. Follow the guidelines of whatever you're doing. You have to protect yourself today. There's a lot of weird things going on right now. I'm going to show you a clip of what happened this weekend when Adam went to dinner in Miami. I actually want to go through. We'll go through it right afterwards, too, because I want to hear your thoughts from it as well. And people, there was an article we read last week that said 2020. We read last week that said 2028. I think it was Axios that said 2028 will be the year of AI elections, right? Bots. I posted Adam Kinzinger said something. Can you go on Twitter? Can you go on Twitter on Adam Kinzinger's account? I cannot even believe I'm going to this guy's account. Go to Adam Kinzinger's account. I don't know who he was until you guys were describing it to me. I'm like, who is this guy? Go to Adam. I think we've talked about him once before, and then you remind me. I'm like, okay, I know who he is.
He got shot
Go
out
a little
of
bit lower. Go a little bit lower. Go a little bit lower. So I retweeted the fact that, Elon Musk's Starlink is thinking about competing with AT&T and others. And I said, we were on a flight that had Starlink, and I was go right there. You're about to get to it, right? Go, click on that first. Click on my tweet first, so we can go back. So, and right there. So Starlink is preparing to launch a rival cellular services challenge to T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T. I was on a flight yesterday that has Starlink. The service was amazing. I was able to FaceTime and make calls during the entire flight. Literally, I'm making calls and doing FaceTime with people calling me. They're like, what are you doing? I'm on a flight. Now, it was a PJ. So we're with our business associates, eight of us. We're not on a regular flight that we wouldn't be doing that with people sitting on. First of all, flight attendants won't let you do that. So Adam responds back and says, which is so amazing just for everyone around you to hear. Bet you loudly talk about all your business deals, which we do. But he's being sarcastic, and I'm asking, what is he saying by this? I'm just curious to know what he's saying. So I went back and I responded to the comment. Go a little bit lower to see my comment being, and I said, says the guy who got a preemptive pardon from Biden.
Thank you.
Nothing says I'm guilty like getting a preemptive pardon. I'd keep my mouth shut if I were you. No one on either side trusts you. I would also put likes you. All the best. This is like a prostitute for media that's used. It's a cheap prostitute. They just use guys like this. But if you can click my comment and go under my comment, I want you to see what the first guy says. First guy says, STFU, which you know what that means. You're a Jewish puppet.
Oh.
Okay, all right, maybe I am. Let me click on. Let me see what this guy's saying. Go click on his account if you can.
Yeah, hover
Click
over
on his
the
account.
non-picture.
And look
There
at
you
this.
go.
Oh,
account started when?
Oh.
May 2026. Oh, this is a bot. So imagine people are like, this works, by the way, just so you know.
Yeah.
People believe this. So go back to the account, and if you can,
Oh,
UAE.
wow.
Go back to the account
Isn't
and
that
look what
weird?
I said. Okay, let's see, right there. And you're a bot who started this account 2 months ago. Keep dividing and spreading lies. You don't win at the end. You just make a ton of noise and confuse the majority for a short period, and they do. And so imagine if you're a young person who doesn't double check. Oh my God, these people are these months. And then you all of a sudden take action and you go to become a hero and you do what this kid just did and you kill yourself at the end. You killed a bunch of innocent people that are trying to live. So what's the point? What is our responsibility as fathers, men, husbands, leaders of our
A
household?
month after his
One of the
charges were
jobs
filed
we
for
have is
failure to appear in
escort,
court. Multiple
security,
other warrants have been issued
safety.
since then.
We
The
have
most
to do our
recent on
part.
July 10th,
Things like this can happen at any
2026,
time
there
because
was a no
crazies
bond hold
are
currently
everywhere.
ordered by the judge.
And
These cases
right now
ongoing,
there's
and
benefit
he's
to
innocent unless proven
inciting
guilty in a court of law.
rage
According to
because
the
they
incident
need those
report,
opportunities.
Ira
Political
Rose
parties
pursued to be caught,
look for these
insisted
types of
that she had no
opportunities.
knowledge of her
But what
husband
can
Matthew's
you
plans
and I
to steal the truck and
do?
pleaded
We got to
with him
protect
not to.
ourselves. You had something that
Investigators
happened the other day.
later
We're in
that
the
she
car. We're talking. Where a
concealed
guy pulls up in a parking lot and you were ready.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you were ready to
Thank
see
God
it.
I saw
Yeah.
two guys pull in. I'm cleaning my car in a parking lot,
Yeah.
big empty parking lot. Two guys pull up at them. They're chilling. They watch me. They turn around and they're in another empty parking lot, and it's just a stare off. And they're staring at me, and guess what? I'm ready to go. And I'm just sitting there because my truck is tall, and I'm just like this, and I'm staring at them. And after literally 3 minutes, I just go, "Are we good? Are we good?" Mother, my gun is right there, right in front of me. And then boom, and they sped off. So I don't know what they were up to, but you have to be on high alert.
It's pretty. And by the way, it's not for people to be like, man, imagine what kind of time we're living in where we need to have guns. This happened in 1776 as well. Yeah, this was the case in 1800s more than today. It's just it was normal back then, 1900s and today. You know, it's a very normal thing for us to have to protect ourselves. I can tell you what states I wouldn't be living in. I wouldn't be living in a state or a city where I can't carry. Never. You would never find me living in a place that I can't carry. Never. There's no benefit to it. I'm out. I remember the first time our Range Rover was broken into at night when I was asleep. Guy comes in, takes my bag and takes my security system. And I said, uh-oh, we're not living here anymore. 90 days later, I moved into a gated community. We bought a bunch of guns in California. And in that moment is when a Time Magazine article came out on the cover. It says, you can pull this up actually, Time Magazine, United States of Texas. And I said, you know what? I'm getting the hell out of California. And I started selling Jen, Moral, my family, Melva, everybody were moving to Texas. Everyone's like, but we don't want to move to Texas. We're moving to Texas. We're moving to Texas. And we moved to Texas because of it offers a little bit more of a freedom than it did in California. So you as a leader of the household, you got to make a decision where you want to take your kids to feel free. Adam, I'll come to you for a couple thoughts and then we'll move on to the next story.
Well, regarding the Idaho shooting,
Yes.
you know, the first thing that comes to mind is just how they say life is short, man. Life is short, and we're in the insurance business. We know that life is actually long if you're healthy, but what life is precious. At any point, I mean, at any point, whether you're in the car on the way to work, you're charging your Tesla in and out, crazy people are out there. So I agree with you. You got to take the necessary precautions to stay safe. That's really all it is. But you wanted to talk about the other thing?
Well, no, on the shooting and the thing, I mean, Tom made a bunch of great points. Is how many times civilians stepped up. I wish that cop, you're an off-duty cop, have a little bit, you don't just, whatever tactic school he went through, just running around the corner, he should come up and you know that there's a threat, you hear the shooting, be more cognizant and use your training. But then, we don't know nothing about this kid. What type of mental, what is going on with you? I want to find out the meds, the social footprint, the friends that didn't tell us
family,
anything.
the
But
family.
I'm very curious to what, and again, I'm talking about evil is evil, and I'm pretty sure it was inside of his soul. But what gets you to that point where that you have to do that, and that's going through your body? Like when he was just standing there trying to figure out where am I gonna go to the street? There's something evil going on inside you, but how he got there. But for that girl, the biggest shot, that young girl that ran all the way on the side, ducks for cover, grabs his gun because she was trying to engage, and the gun is jammed. That's why he couldn't keep shooting in the window.
That girl's toughness is.
Holy moly! And then she ducked behind the car, and in her head, she's like, I'm gonna grab the gun and I'm gonna engage. It jammed. Thank God he didn't come to her because she would have been screwed. But Tom made a great point. The bravery and the people that stood up, because guess what? Nobody shot back. If nobody engaged him, it would have been 3 times more.
Have they located this guy's family?
He's dead. I mean, they're right now. They haven't told us any. Meaning the market right now is waiting to learn more about this guy. They still haven't revealed enough information about him. Hopefully they will soon for us to know what's happening. So this weekend you're in Miami, and me and the family come back from dinner, and we're at dinner. We're about to watch Margin Call. All of a sudden, Vinny's like, "What's this?" We're getting tagged all over the place on X. I'm like, "What is this?" And it's a video of Adam. You're in it. I'll play it.
When a female legislator disagreed with Troy Jackson, he threw a water bottle at her in anger. Jackson was known for bullying, and his brash conduct with women raised alarm bells about his temperament. Troy Jackson, another phony we can't trust.
Entered a plea agreement where most of the charges.
Do you support Israel and the Jewish people? Now, more than ever, Israel needs committed friends around them.
Probation was revoked, and Matthew will serve the remainder
To,
of his probation at
to
North
someone that
West
we've
West
interviewed
Correctional
multiple
Center,
times,
though it appears
and
that
you don't know who you're going to run into in the lobby.
his most
That's really all it comes down to.
So okay. So and then here's what happens. You run into a guy named.
I didn't want to say his name. He's just,
You have to say.
I think it's Jake.
Jake Lang.
So here's what happens. Go for it.
What you guys do, but you guys need to get pressed out. Uh-oh. You guys need a couple fucking nigger bombs dropped on your phone. I'm gonna burn the garage.
Just like that.
Burn the garage. Everything at home. Yeah, that shouldn't be your thing. That's fucked up. It shouldn't
By the
be.
way, he's sitting with like 10 people.
He has a Quran.
He's Jewish, he's against that. That's base, yeah.
That's not big.
Yo, tell me Adam, I fuck with that.
I just kept saying, not my thing, buddy. This is not my thing. You're not my thing.
Dude, this is burning. It's not my thing, not my thing.
He's burning a Quran. Listen, he's sitting there.
This is a bunch of race trading faggots. Fuck Patrick McDavid, deport him. Fucking. Oh my god. Fuck him.
And the restaurant's not.
But listen to what his people are saying.
He's not just burning the Quran, he's burning his bridge right now. This guy's burning his bridge right now.
So I want to comment on that.
Patrick McDavid. Yeah, he just got a phone call. Patrick McDavid sucks Indian cock. He just got a phone call. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So
Yeah.
what is his shtick? This is
honestly,
the guy that takes the pork and goes in Dearborn and walks around and bacon and all. This is the same
This is
guy.
the guy.
You know which
that's
guy?
looking for
You know which
trouble.
guy it is, Pat? Could you just play that? Play that. This is a Jewish dude. Hold on. Please lower the music. This is a Jewish dude. Okay, a Jewish guy that goes around, says he's Christian, Pat, and he's trying to do civil unrest against Christians and Muslims, okay? You know how I feel about Islam and all that stuff, but I have Muslims friends and I love Muslims, but what he's doing, burning the Quran, shoving bacon in it, you know exactly what his motive is, and I'd be very, very interested to see who's paying him to be that guy. That's not normal and that's not natural, Pat. That's not organic. That's all a show. And he's in a restaurant with butane or lighter fluid lighting and nobody's saying anything. He's a fraud. He's a fraud. And I would bet money, Jake, none of this dialogue that you would ever say about him or us ever into our face. Ever. And keep going. By the way, keep going. Keep going to Dearborn and keep doing that crap with the bacon and
some people would say he did say to Adam's face.
Yeah. Well, listen.
I'm saying say it to me. Say it with me there. And see what happens.
Here's what I've learned. Here's what I know. You called me. I'm at dinner. I just got to the restaurant. Remember, I was like, "What's going on, BBD?" You said, What happened? How was it? What's going on?" I go, "What are you talking about?" I go, "The meetup with Dominic."
That's
They're
it.
like, "No, the video of you." I go, "What video?" I had no clue. Yes. So you sent me the video. I look at it and I realize this: 15 seconds is all it takes to run into somebody for something stupid to happen. I don't know this guy. I don't hang out with this guy. It's not, but you run into this person. So all you can do is avoid toxic people.
Is this your first interaction with him?
Yes. I think he's been on a Unusual Suspects. He's upset that you don't want him on the PBD podcast. Here, I'll give you some context, actually. You see some other kid, there's a black kid there and a white kid there. Do you want to show the video? The one kid saying, he's burning his bridge. He's burning his bridge. This kid, you say this. He's not just burning this. Watch this. We're giving this kid.
Yo, why? But hold on. Why did he start
There's
recording?
a black kid there.
He knew something was gonna go down.
There's a black
Not
guy there,
stupid.
and this kid. Watch this. Just understand.
I heard what he heard.
He's not burning the crowd, he's burning his bridge right
Because
now.
he wants.
This guy's
He
burning
goes,
his
hey man,
bridge.
would love to come on the podcast and talk to you. And I was like, yeah man, we'll see.
That's what he should breathe.
Yes. I said, hey man, we'll see. That's not my call. And then he goes, well, we gotta something about, we gotta press you, da da da. And I'm like, oh, okay, whatever that means. The kid was trying to basically coordinate us. I'm like, yeah bro, we're not talking. Imagine you're a black guy sitting at dinner with this guy who's shouting the N-word. Why are you sitting with this guy?
Why don't you punch him in the face?
Imagine you're this
That's the
kid
deeper
that's
question.
trying to, I don't know, do something reasonable with his life, and this is who you hang out with. My ultimate point is this. The people who are sitting with this guy have a choice to stay at that dinner or leave. I've been in some stupid rooms in my life. I've been around some stupid ass people. What I do is walk the F away. If you're that person that after dinner stays there, after some guy burns the Quran, shouts N-bombs, telling everybody has my whatever thing, that's on you. This guy's got major issues. Good luck to him.
Yeah.
My question is the people around him.
But
why are you around him?
But where Jake Lang is the January 6th with a bat hitting, bro, he's there to provoke, and I hope somebody out there, I don't know, one of these investigative journalists, and allegedly texting underage girls and trying to holler at girls too. So if you think about who he is, what he's doing, where he's from, Pat, and then beating up cops with a bat, can you show that's him with a bat January 6th?
No, this is emphasize that.
That's Jake Lang.
He's there,
Sorry,
J6.
so guys, so don't piece it together. Who he is, what he's about, what he's claiming. He's an operative.
So,
that's plain and simple.
I think-
You're a fraud.
Thank
You're a
you.
fraud.
Thank you for sharing that. As much as information you know about him, I know nothing.
Yeah.
He was a dude who came up to me.
Well, we opened our
and said,
doors.
"What's
That's
up?"
what we gave
He's
him.
been here on the show.
We gave him Unusual Suspects. We were freaking.
You were on the show with him?
I was on the show. I was hosting the show.
I wasn't on that show.
No, you weren't.
I don't know
You're not
this
an
guy.
Unusual Suspect.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, I know this guy is unoriginal. He's a freaking operative, and I can't wait to find out.
We're giving him exactly what he wants.
No, Mike, it's not even.
Nobody.
So he, I saw a girl the other day tag me in a video, and I'm like, wait, she just like went off. Patrick Bet-David is this, and she just went off on trashing me. I'm like, wait a minute, I think I know this girl. She came for a job interview, and I said, let me go check my DM with this girl. I did. She reached out to me. I'm a big fan. I love the content. I love the fact that you interview Andrew Tate. And then there's an entire, hey, can I come and sit? So I said, give me your number. I gave it to Robert O'Rourke. Robert O'Rourke, you go do an interview. And then now, there's a pattern, which by the way, the longer you're around, this happens. If you don't give people a platform, they get angry and they come out and call you everything. That part, it is what it is. But the part with guys like this is burning the Quran. My son is reading it. What burning the Quran? My son read Communist Manifesto. We read everything. I read Mein Kampf. Anything and everything to get educated, to learn what's going on the other side that you may or may not agree with, and ask yourself, why are so many other people interested in this topic? We want to get educated. Burn it. It's the dumbest thing you can do. That's exactly what, caused the fatwa that you got from Khomeini back in the days with Salman Rushdie burning it. You don't do stuff like that, but there are plenty of people like that in America today that want this, and it gets you to think about who wants to divide America. This is not a pro-America guy. This is not a guy that's going to unify us. This is not a guy that's going to do that. This just raises the temperature more than anything else. Now, don't get me wrong. The price of freedom of speech is what? He gets to say everything you just said. Of
course he can.
That's America. He gets to say anything he wants to say. But there will come a time where you're going to face somebody, and that person's not going to, not going to handle it like a lot of other guys. That's how this world works. You can go around talking as much shit as you want, then you meet somebody, and then something happens. Those types of people are out there. Our goal is to try to lower the temperature instead of seeing something like this take place. Unfortunately, this is not a good example of it. When I saw this video that was sent my way, I'm like, wait, what? What was this all about? So, anyways, now we know where he stands, and FYI to us, we give everybody a platform. The guy sent me a message on Manek saying, you know what? The things changed ever since you hosted BB. I said, really? Yeah. Okay. I said, tell me what other podcast hosted BB and hosted Nick Fuentes within 30 days. Go ahead, I'll wait. Go ahead. And then tell me which other show hosted BB and Fuentes and Mehdi Hassan and Andrew Wilson and Andrew Tate. And go ahead, try to find somebody. It does not exist. It doesn't exist. We're the only ones that will sit down and have the conversations with everybody. And people feel comfortable doing that. You know, people will feel comfortable doing that. So I'm in the, like, you know, right now, Andrew Wilson and I think Candace Owens, they're going back and forth.
I hope they have a debate.
I hope they do it, okay? I hope that, but you know what it is? I'm glad they're doing it. And there's a camp that's going to side with Candace. Candace has got a bigger audience than Andrew, and there's going to be a camp that sides with Andrew. But guess who wins? The audience that gets to hear both arguments, and hopefully both of them will come prepared, and let's see how people react to it. So to me, this behavior right here is the kind of behavior that gets America closer to a civil war. You don't need stuff like this. You don't need stuff like
this. And it's not, I'm telling you right now, my heart of hearts, he's not organic. That doesn't just come out of nowhere where you're that guy and you're doing it and it's all on purpose. And don't get me wrong, I understand about the fight, okay? I understand Islam, the ideology, the stages of coming here. I get that and I'm willing to fight and I'm down to fight, okay? Because the enemy that we're going to be fighting, I'm not going to pass it down to our kids and nieces and nephews. No, that fight's coming and it's here and I'm going to fight it now. But that's ridiculous. And that's him right there getting his butt jumped. Look at him. And then he's playing the victim.
See, here's doing what right?
He's there with the
He's a professional
he has a sign that's like
It's an agitator.
But wait a minute, what's that sign?
This is
What's he doing here?
He's in I guess Dearborn.
What sign is he holding?
I don't know what it was.
So, but by the way, let's just say he's holding a sign that has to do with Jesus, but he went out there and put the bacon
in his crotch.
In his crotch.
And then in the Bible and the Quran.
He's saying America is the Christian country. He's agitating.
A Jewish guy with a Christian sign. Give me a break, bro.
Go ahead.
Look, I don't know what. I just need to say this one last thing. I completely disavow this person.
You don't even know him.
I have nothing to do with this. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next story. Next story I want to get into is, and by the way, this is the crazy part. People watch this and it's like going back to the day where I went to Publix and I'm wearing a Future Looks Bright shirt and I'm wearing a Future Looks Bright hat. And I do this every time when I go to the same lady to order my mortadella. Yeah. Every time. And she smirks at me every single time. And she says, "You really believe the future looks bright?" Yes. You really believe that? Yeah, I said, you don't? No, of course I don't believe the future looks bright. I said, you believe in God? Yeah, of course I believe in God. How do you not believe the future looks bright if you believe in God? Yeah, but that's after we die. I said, no, that's not how this works. I said, that's not how this works. It works when you truly believe in the future looks bright because God is in charge at the end of the day and everything works itself out. Even with that bot, when I said, you're going to be able to confuse certain people and all, but you're not going to win at the end of the day. Folks, bots are coming for your brain and your mind. And unfortunately, you know who they're able to get? The younger audience. Oh my God, let me go do something because I'm a hero. And I certainly believe the future looks bright ourselves. That position's not going to change for us. And by the way, if you can, but we're about to announce 3 new shoes. Oh, I can't wait for you guys to hear the whole new big announcement we're making with Future Looks Bright. In the interim, let's play the clip for the FLB shoes. Go for it. Set out to create a shoe that blends comfort, function, and luxury. We had the choice to make it fast. We had the choice to make it cheap. We chose neither. Instead, we chose Tuscany. We chose true Italian craftsmanship. Each pair touched by 50 skilled hands. We chose patience, spending 2 years perfecting every detail, and we chose the finest quality at every step. Introducing the Future Looks Bright collection. Not rushed, not disposable, not ordinary. Rather, intentional, luxurious, timeless. It's funny, I was at our annual convention last week in Las Vegas and I was wearing $2,000 dress shoes because it's my last one. I'm like, let me just wear I flew in the FLBs, but on stage for 4 hours, I said, let me wear these dress shoes.
How'd you feel? How'd your back?
How did I feel? My feet were begging me to toss the shoes out. I was begging. I get a call from Stefano Ricci. They say, you look amazing with your I'm so proud of you. I said, never again.
Yeah.
I said, this made me feel so uncomfortable. Yeah, but, you know, to be comfortable, to look good, you have to be uncomfortable. I said, no, George, I disagree. We had a nice little friendly back and forth. And so I've worn these things, FLBs nonstop. They're so flippin' comfortable. It's not even funny and light at the same time. If you haven't yet placed an order for yourself, your husband, your son, go to vtmerch.com, place your order. With that being said, let's get to the next story. Next story I want to get to is kind of a weird story. Weird story. Iran's president only allowed to speak to missing supreme leader in a dark meeting. What? This can't be real. This is a movie. This is Donnie Brasco.
Yeah,
This is Goodfellas. This is Godfather. No. This is Iran. Seriously. Yes. So officially, the modern day Corleone, Vito, is a different name of Mojtaba Khamenei. That's who he is today. You got to meet underground. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian was allegedly taken to a secret Tehran location, allowed minutes into a dark, tinted window car with a man presented as Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei. According to Iran International, Pezeshkian could not see the man beside him and later asked whether the voice he had heard had really belonged to the Supreme Leader. Sources claim the report described the president as finding the situation humiliating, particularly after it took threats to resign to convince handlers to allow the meeting. Mojtaba Khamenei, who succeeded his father Ali after his death on February 28th, has not made any public appearances, no released videos or audio statements, leaving Iranians with no proof of whether he's alive or not. Rumors suggest he was severely injured in the airstrike that killed his father, potentially with a disfigured face or limb amputation. Pezeshkian claimed in May to have met Khamenei for 2.5 hours, describing the conversation as direct and frank, but in a Thursday state media interview, conceded communication is now very difficult.
Join us on patreon.com/.
Experience matters. After a devastating attack, Susan Collins led the way forward, enacting historic bipartisan reforms that made us safer. Susan saved 250,000 Maine jobs. She protects access to quality health care, and she delivered the Social Security Fairness Act, boosting the incomes of 25.
Love you.
Guitar Center has top deals for drummers, including 20% off this Ludwig drum set. Hurry, offer ends on.
Joining me now is Minnesota Congresswoman and Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate, Angie.
So, and that's not conjecture, that's the conclusion coming out of multiple leaks and reports, and then the guy doesn't show up in public. And so, he's basically, we have no place to say anything about this, and I'll tell you why. Because we just had Biden as president, and for the last 2 years, there was evidence of incapacitation. This guy's incapacitated. They won't even let him go out in public because they don't want to show with Trump to say, that's what I did to that guy, you're next, Vinny. They don't want that, right? They don't want to give Trump that victory. I knew where you were and I got you. So that's what's going on. But they have basically an incapacitated leader. They're trying to make good and make it work. But you know what? We had an incapacitated leader. We could clearly see that Biden was suffering, whether it was dementia or Alzheimer's or age-related disorder, whatever it was. It was sad to see. If you have a heart, I do have a heart, and it was sad to see what we were doing with our president. So we don't, no pun intended, but we don't have a leg to stand on here because they're not the only country that's had an incapacitated leader, and they don't want to put it out in public. And then the real question is, Pat, who's really running the country?
But you know what it makes me think about? I'm sorry. You know what it makes me think about is because Pezeshkian claimed he had a meeting with him in early May for 2.5 hours, but no videos, no audio, no pictures, no nothing. And people are like, wait a minute, you really sure that took place? You sure that meeting took place? No handshake, nothing. So we have to now believe that. And the part that gets me to question, by the way, this article is reported by Reuters, Bloomberg. So it's not like it's a story that's a, Daily Mail story. No, it's a story that's coming up from credible sources. The question becomes, why drop that story today? Why? Why drop that story today? After what? After the offers that are being made? After negotiation where Americans are realizing that Iran's economy is in shambles and they don't want Iran, U.S. to have the leverage over that. By the way, what's the one thing Iranian leaders follow very, very, very closely? The polls in America, midterm polls, Trump's credibility. You know what Iran said on their news this past weekend? Iran said on their news this past weekend that the Iran war is the number one reason why Trump is now not a popular president in America. And the longer it goes, the less popular Trump gets, getting closer to the midterm. So they know timing. And then at the same time, the whole story with the 15 points that came in, that Bibi apparently is not, where's that story at that says Netanyahu rejects Board of Peace 15-point peace plan until Hamas truly is disarmed. That story comes out until Hamas is truly disarmed. And Tom, what are your thoughts with the agreement, the 15-point? Why Bibi wouldn't agree to it? I think you even said it's kind of fair. It's not like it's that aggressive of a request that they have.
Yeah, well, Bibi doesn't trust anything that the other side would be willing to sign. Period. He doesn't trust it. The same way we don't have a lot of trust of Iran. Sure. However, a lot of...
May I read this? Let me read this. Israel rejects the 15-point plan. Netanyahu said at the start of a cabinet meeting, the IDF will not make any withdrawal until Hamas is truly dismissed and will continue to thwart threats against the forces and citizens. So that's kind of what regarding the Gaza Strip, first of all, I want to clarify that the main thing is as long as I am prime minister, there will be no Palestinian state, neither in Gaza nor in Judea or Samaria. Netanyahu said, when I say disarming Hamas, I mean the heavy weapons, the less heavy weapons, all the weapons, and we are talking about the real armament, not fictitious disarmament. Netanyahu called Trump our greatest friend in the White House, but added, we can and know how to stand our ground even against our best friend when necessary.
Yeah, what Israel is saying is, I want to define your disarmament, and I'm not going to sign an agreement where both of us do something. And the agreement, remember, when Anwar Sadat came across the Suez Canal, and 67, Adam, or 73? I don't know. No. There's 3 major wars that happened in Israel at that time. So when Anwar Sadat came across, there was an incredibly difficult negotiation because Israel actually defended and pushed back further. And so now Israel was occupying land which was previously belonged to Egypt before they attacked. So they attacked and they got pushed way back. And there's this massive negotiation that had to go through, but cool heads prevailed and they were able to get it. Neither wanted military stuff in that area. So Israel historically has been able to protect itself and get what's necessary. This seems that there were some reasonable parts to it, but Bibi came back and said, look, if it's anything involving a Palestinian state here, or you don't disarm first, we're not going to do it. And it's like 2 guys that are pointing guns at each other, Pat, right? You have a standoff. He says, okay, we both drop our guns. No, you drop yours first. The other guy's not going to do that. Wait, I drop my gun, then I get shot. So I kind of felt that there was room in this, but Israel doesn't want it. And I thought there was room to have progress here, and we need progress. And clearly, there's some zero acceptables that Bibi has.
I have 3 points. So, number 1, Trump is in a very tough spot. I don't know if you've ever tried to negotiate with an Iranian and a Jewish guy. It's not easy. And that's what Trump is trying to do. So, if I were to recommend Trump, if I was in Trump's ear with Iran and Israel right now, I would say, number 1, brush up on the book that you authored called The Art of the Deal. Make sure you remember all your stuff. And I would read one more book. You ever read the book, Never Split the Difference? And it's basically a hostage negotiator who's basically saying, here's how you deal with business, like how I dealt with hostage negotiations, right? Negotiate as if your life depends on it. Now, there's why I respect Iran
The pledge
and the
says, quote,
IRGC.
survival of Chinese
Because they're
socialism
really good at
is
what
a
they do.
crucial matter.
And what do they
Socialist
do
other promises,
is they hold people
subsidized
hostage
housing,
really
free
well.
college,
That's kind of what
Medicare for
terrorists
all,
think,
and
you
a
know?
shorter work
They'll hold their own
week,
people
and
hostage.
abolishing
They'll hold
ICE.
the Gulf states
I'm
hostage
Andrea.
because
Hugh Hewitt, host of the Hugh
you try to
Hewitt Show
basically
on Fox News
do
Kids
anything
Dinner.
there, they're just going to
Hey,
shoot down
welcome
American
to you.
bases.
Good to have you
And
on
if
this
they
morning.
could, they'd hold the whole
Now,
world in
we're going to
hostage with
support
nukes.
and
And
defend
Trump is
China.
realizing,
How is it
how do you
that
negotiate
this
with these
group
people? You know, what's the famous thing they said in Afghanistan?
worried about
You
it?
guys might have the watches, but we have all the time. They will wait out Trump. Now, what I will push back on that is, and I've said this before, they're worried about the end of times, and Trump's worried about midterms. So come midterms, I think Trump is going to deal with this one way or another. We're just going to wait this out. The Iranian economy is plummeting, whereas what's the worst thing that's happened here? $1 extra in gas prices, I get it. I think after midterms this thing gets settled. As far as BB goes, look, when I was on the plane, I read this article. Here you go. Here's these two guys sitting and having a discussion. I think they're not fully aligned, but they're aligned enough to know who the bad guy is, and that's Iran.
Well, I mean, rejecting the plan, but I mean, complete disarmament, I think is almost impossible standard. How do you prove it? Who decides Hamas has 0 weapons left? Who's going to verify the tunnels, the hidden weapons? And now, like, if Israel gets to decide when Hamas is fully disarmed, then Israel gets to decide when the war ends. Okay, and at some point, America has to ask, like, what's actually achievable? What are you trying to do? Because I've seen the videos, I've seen everything. Gaza is no more. So we're Hamas. So we just have to take your word and say, like, Hamas, I thought we killed everybody. I thought everybody was dead. So now you could just keep saying, well, Hamas is still there. You everything out of it. Think about the sons and all the people. Hamas is never going to go anywhere because now you just created a bunch of people that are upset.
What's your recommendation?
No, my recommendation is it's going to keep going.
It's never going to. You think, what's your recommendation, though?
There is no recommendation because there's no. That's like when you say the
You don't have a record.
when you say the war on terrorism. There's no face.
Well, let me read this to you. Let me read this to you. So from the post-millennial, nearly half of Muslim Americans have a favorable view of Hamas. The Pew poll finds, this is not Fox News poll, this is not Breitbart, this is Pew. Pew and Gallup are probably two of the most credible that are nonpartisan polls out there, okay? And some may even say they lean left, but they're fairly reasonable. According to Pew Research survey from July, 44% of Muslim Americans support Hamas, while 26% have a favorable view of Israel people, 26% of Muslims. Among all, 1 out of 4 Muslim has a favorable view of Israeli people, 74% don't, 3 out of 4. Among all Americans under the age of 30, 58% said they have a favorable view of Palestinian people, compared to 32% said the same about Israelis. Pew also found a significant shift amongst Republicans. Republicans under 30 view Palestinian Israelis more similarly than older Republicans, a notable change from previous years, and Republicans were far more favorable towards Israel. Democrats have more positive view of Palestinian Authority than of Israeli government. Younger Democrats were slightly more likely to view Hamas favorably than Israeli government, while older Democrats were slightly more favorable of Israel's government. Religious affiliation also played a significant role. Jewish Americans and white evangelical Protestants were favorable toward Israeli people than the government and other groups. White evangelical Protestants were the only religious group surveyed in which a majority expressed favorable view of Israel government. That means Catholic and others, and they were on the other side. The findings came amid growing skepticism amongst Americans towards both Israel's actions in conflict of Gaza and Iran and influence within the UN. So 44% supported Hamas. How do you react to this poll?
I mean, it's not good. It's a terrorist organization. But what my question is, what pushes Americans, besides the bots and all the, what is changing that view on people of Hamas? I'm very curious. I'm just curious because we saw October 7th, horrible Hamas, horrible terrorism, horrible. But the response, I think one of them could be the response of Israel was so brutal and so over the top that it's making people bad because it could have easily.
You know what's crazy? I had Ben Shapiro on last week.
Yeah.
And the podcast is going to come out this Wednesday. And we talked about Nick Fuentes, and he said something he's never said about Nick Fuentes, which I think the audience, Reuters, go tag each other. You'll know
this Wednesday.
This Wednesday it'll drop. And then
we talked about his biggest blind spot. I was surprised that he was actually open to the discussion of his blind spot. He actually openly talked about it.
His blind spot. It's a great part of the discussion.
It's one of the best parts of the discussion. But you know what else he talked about what Israel did wrong? He says, you know what's the biggest criticism Netanyahu gets in Israel today? I'll let him describe it. He says, in Israel, both on the left and on the far right, they're both united on one thing, that Bibi didn't respond fast enough and strong enough against Hamas. Let me say it one more time. In Israel, the people that criticize him, that are probably going to take over Israel now and they're going to replace Bibi. On the left and the right, if there's one thing they're united on is that Bibi didn't react fast enough to what Hamas did to their people. He didn't go hard enough. So, well, I mean, listen, we'll see what's going to happen there. The part that is interesting is 44% is favorable of Hamas. Tom, how do you look at this poll? Pew.
Well, with some degree of horror, you have people that are living here in the United States and want all the freedom that we afford, and they have a positive viewpoint of a world terrorist group. So does it shock me? You know what? When people tell you who they are, believe them, and it shocks me. You know, we have great freedoms in the United States, and we have all sorts of faiths from people around the world. I don't remember Hindu Indians saying that they had a favorable view of some terrorist group, and they would love them to come over and wreak havoc, and they look forward to it. I don't recall Buddhist Japanese who came over after World War II talking about that they look forward to Buddha coming over and raising Cain, and I just didn't see it. And now they openly say what they want to do in the future with Islam in America, and then they say they support a paramilitary organization that's a terrorist group supported by Iran. To which I say, I'm not surprised, but I'm kind of worried.
Adam, final thoughts on
Well, number one, Israel has a PR problem. They do not have a winning a war problem, they have a PR problem. Hamas are like freedom fighters, is like saying Al-Qaeda are aviation aficionados. You gotta go.
I didn't call them freedom fighters, I call them terrorist organizations.
I wasn't talking to you, Tom. I'm talking about Hamas. We're talking about, that's what the story's about, right? So, what I'll say about this for the people that love Hamas, I would ask, how do you feel about ISIS? How do you feel about Al-Qaeda? How do you feel about Hezbollah? When you answer that, we'll have a little clarity. But more importantly, how do you feel about America? Because something tells me that people that are rooting for Hamas are also rooting against America. So if I'm Israel, I'm looking at the lay of the land, and I recognize that I have a PR problem. But then it comes back to the conversation they had in White Man Can't Jump. Would you rather look bad and win, or look good and lose? And I would argue you always want to win. You always want to have total victory if you can. And you'd rather be respected versus liked. So yes, Israel has to clean up their PR problem, but Hamas is the bad guy here.
Yeah. Well, listen, we'll see what happened. And again, the Ben Shapiro interview when it comes out, it is very, very interesting what things he talked about. By the way, he reached out to me to come on the podcast. We didn't reach out to him. You know, the last time when it was canceling all this stuff after Nick Fuentes, he reached out, we sat there, we had a great conversation, and Nick was one of the topics of discussion. And it could lead into a very interesting thing afterwards. Let's get to the next story. Next story I want to get into is flock cameras. I don't know if you're following this thing with flock cameras. Very, very weird what they're doing. Like, how much more do you want to know? And this, by the way, I actually think this is going to be a topic of discussion in midterms in 2028 that people have to address. That people truly have to address. So let me kind of go through this with you, and you tell me how you feel about this. What page is it on? Page 14. All right, here we go. Flock plan to use 350,000 Uber, Lyft, and delivery drivers as mobile license plate cameras. What? Uber drivers? Yes. What's your outcome? Why are you doing this? A flock presentation obtained through a public record request shows the surveillance company plan to use dash cameras installed in hundreds of thousands of Uber, Lyft, and delivery cars to collect license plate data of its network. The document written to present to Georgia Office of the Attorney General last August stated, plus Nexar partnership, which include 350,000 Uber, Lyft, and other delivery service devices. Flock told 404 Media it never executed the partnership with Nexar
But the presentation lays out the company's plan to enlist rideshare and delivery drivers to gather license plate data. It is not clear whether Uber, Lyft, or drivers would have known their vehicles were being used for this purpose. Nexar sells dash cams that provide front cabin and rear view and already offers clear license plate capture with full HD video. Neither Uber nor Lyft responded to requests for comment from 404 Media. The report comes as Breitbart News recently documented at least 50 law enforcement officers caught using flock data to stalk victims, including online police chief who allegedly tracked his ex-girlfriend and her teenage daughter plates about 600 times. Vinny, your thoughts on this?
I'm 1,000% against this, and I don't know how all Americans are always like, our privacy this, our privacy that. This should be at the forefront. And I don't know, Connor's going to play this video, Pat. This is in Waukesha County, Wisconsin. Police boxed in the silver S.
Live from your state, it's Lemonade Renters Insurance, featuring claims handled at records.
I needed to prioritize myself, and being in the apprenticeship, this was that opportunity for me. The biggest thing that contributed to me doing this was I deserved better.
Problem was the alert was outdated. The police no longer were looking for the vehicle or the people inside of it, but someone failed to remove it from the system, okay? Human error in this computer, and the camera did exactly what it was designed to do. It read the plate, alerted the police on that information. And by the way, this isn't the first. I saw a video, Pat. This lady's at her house.
This video here up on
This is the video. I played this video. Look, Pat.
Guns drawn, pull over a car they say was flagged by flock cameras in connection to
that lady's
a
car,
homicide
out hands
Milwaukee.
open.
Well, turns out this was all some sort of mishap with the flock camera systems. In fact,
they think that's a murder because the car, the camera's reading the license plate, reporting to the police station, but the police station didn't update it. So they're chasing this person, stops him in the traffic. There's another one where a woman is summoned. A detective shows up to her house and goes, "This is you. You're stealing a package." And she's sitting there calm going, No, I'm not. He's like, "You're lying. This is 100% you." Guess what? It's not her. And then you mentioned there's up to 50 people are using it to spy on people. There's 2 other videos I sent Connor. That one guy's at a golf course. Look at this. What the hell is this doing at a golf course? You're golfing. What really? Really? You want to track people there? That is unbelievable. At a shooting range and everything. I'm just telling you guys right now. And it's being used to stalk people. Let cops do their job. Okay? We pay them to do their jobs. Give them the tools to go after criminals. I don't want cameras on every corner. And by the way, this is AI. It tracks movement. If there's a dent on your car, it can flag you, and it knows that.
Let me tell you what my
that's the
concern here is.
same
It's
technology
less
that our security and surveillance uses. So
because a
where's
study
the
of
problem?
2023 academic study used 24.8
What, if
million
criminals
Nexar
do it?
dash cam images.
So what would they be able
rideshare
to
drivers
do?
in New York City to identify where police
Right, so I
vehicles
know a
were
lot of the
located. Researchers
concerns with
detected police
people
vehicles
is those that
in
might use them to fuck
233,596
with
images and use that
people's
information to analyze police
electricity,
deployment. Okay,
power
so then here's
boxes,
my question for you, Vinny.
transformers, beam
That's maybe
stuff
the devil's advocate.
at certain
Are you okay
places
with
or
Waze
whatever.
telling you there's a cop ahead?
I don't use Waze anymore, but
are you okay
Right, so
with
I mean,
the
it's not a
technology
matter
that
of
tells
people
you
doing
a
it. Like,
quarter
you
of a mile ahead
can't
of
try
you,
to
there's
get
a
upset
cop?
and join the team
You
of
support
fucking
that?
psychos. Stop the AI!
How
We
would
can't
you-
let
Well,
them do this. We gotta stop them. It's like, no. It's already happening, and criminals are using
when you're
it.
driving fast, you're going 90 miles. You don't drive fast. But I'm
Do you
saying, let's just say a
understand
person's
this?
driving fast 90 miles
Right,
an hour.
so we
and it
have
says there's
those
a cop ahead
same
of you.
capabilities,
Do you support
hopefully
that?
better.
I'm kind of indifferent because
Right?
it doesn't really apply.
A lot of people
You gotta
say they
stay
support
ahead
it.
of the
Like,
game,
Well,
right?
a lot of times it's like
Right, so it's not a matter of
that cop was there
stopping
because they're
that and
doing
allowing
something.
them
You know
not
what
to
I'm
do
asking?
that,
Yeah.
but understanding
That's
that they
a
do
form
do
of it.
that
Yes.
That's a
for
form of
national
surveillance.
security
True,
reasons.
but that is
Local,
Wazers.
personal,
Shout out to the Wazers. They're reporting
environmental
on
reasons.
what they're seeing. When it's a surveillance state,
Right.
I'm 100%
Because they need
against
to
it.
be able to
Yeah,
see,
but
if civilians
right?
are
If there's
reporting-
Part of it is
people using them
also
illegally,
technology.
they've been dropping
that
drugs into the
shows
fucking prisons, for Christ's
Nexar
sake. What are you
company,
talking about?
you know,
So
this
how
isn't
do
a
you
new
think
thing.
they can counteract
Nexar has
that?
been doing this for a
By
while.
doing the
They-
same
Nexar
thing.
has
So if people are like,
targeted
hey,
rideshare
and then you get
drivers
the
for
criminals
2021.
pointing out the investigators'
Partnered with
drones,
New
and then
York
people are
City
trying to
Black
shoot
Car
them
Fund
down.
with cameras
We gotta
out
stop
the vehicle,
them!
driven by
Do you get it?
rideshare drivers.
Oh, good.
2021 is 5
Holy
years ago.
shit.
So Have you ever heard of
I
Nexar?
really hope that
Tom,
they
have you
help
ever
the
heard of
kids
Nexar?
here in Augusta, Maine
Nexar,
soon.
no.
Who's they?
I know about the
Proper
program and I know
authorities.
why they were doing
Who's
this.
they? Proper authorities here in Augusta, Maine. Yeah, hopefully. Who would be the adults and the proper authorities here in the capital of Maine to address the fraud and abuse that the punks already got away with? And how they fed out child and animal pornography and abuse to different lines, who then use that information to share amongst themselves and target people, teach people lessons, help people, save them, gotta save them. Right, so anyways, yeah, we try to not let that happen too much, psychos. Yep, that's why we have investigators and police and internal affairs and FBI and CIA and I mean, there's a lot, right? National Guard, Navy, Army, Ranger, no. Right, so anyways, what do you think you're doing? I know you just want to make sure the government doesn't do their job right. The police. Who? Doctors? Teachers. It seems like it's speckled all throughout, huh? Fucked up, crazy. What the fuck happened to you? You egoic fucking entitled piece of shit. Right, so anyways, I really hope that the proper authorities, whoever that may be, here in Augusta, Maine, addresses what happened here over the years and the ignorance with vaccines and SSRIs, what happened with my children, the targeting. I mean, what is there to talk about, really? Really? When you understand the hostage situations and the children that have been and continue to be abused, many have already been killed. Oh, yeah, they actually do. They take out whole places. We see a lot of murder-suicides. It depends on where it is, huh? And what kind of experiments and studies, both individual and group. Is it on a mass scale, though? Mass? Is it on a mass scale? Is it just dawning on you? Am I a people? My people. We, the people, are the government, right? Yeah. That's what I thought. I know. It's very weird, isn't it? It's very weird. I just think the lack of conversation with things that matter, you know? Do you believe in God? Are you Christian? Do you support boys in girls' locker rooms? Are you a racist? Do you consider yourself to be racist? What about a fascist? What happened? What about the Dow? Are the stocks plummeting? Well, you know what they say. You got to be ready to catch the downfall, you know? Well, when you catch the downfall, you rise above the rest, right? If you have the means, right? You see how they caught it. Look at them, they get it, caught it. Huh. What are you going to do with your knowledge? Well, I got 16 shillings in my pocket. You? Okay, just never mind. What are you going to do with your knowledge and awareness, little Johnny? Well, we live on the outskirts of town. It'd be mighty nice to get me one of them, but it's going to take a lot of corn husking. Mama says if I husk 500 ears of corn every day, I get 2 nickels a week. So, by my calculations, I might be able to get me one of those in, say 5 generations from now. Not even then. No, I don't even think. It'll probably, maybe the prices will go down. Sometimes, the prices on those things go down. How about you? What are you going to do with your knowledge? I'm going to build a fucking rocket. I'm going to shoot it into space. And we're going to have these satellite communications where everybody will be able to communicate with anyone, anywhere in the world, in the palm of their hand. The fuck did this dude come from? What? Oh, they got $2 million. Trillion. Oh, billion. That's a good question. Well, would that be in circulation or in existence? The total amount of money in the world depends on how you measure it. Physical paper, cash, and coins total roughly $8.9 trillion. While broader definitions, including digital bank deposits, savings, and easily accessible funds, range from 96 trillion to 98 trillion. Total global household wealth, including property, stocks, and other assets, is approximately 470 trillion. The top 10% of the U.S. population owns more than 2/3 of the nation's wealth. The bottom 99% owned less than 69%. Trends in the distribution of family wealth, 1989 to 2022. Who owns 50% of the world's wealth? Roughly 50% of the world's net household wealth is owned by the top 1% of adults globally, according to data compiled by organizations like Oxfam and economic research groups. Shh, I am snorkeling. Wealth distribution breakdown. Break it down. Organizations like Oxfam International regularly report that billionaires either run or hold principal shares in over 1/3 of the world's largest 50 corporations. Probably a bunch of criminals, huh? I bet some of them are alcoholics. Well, I mean, it's 50 corporations. I mean, how many people do you think are involved with the owning and operations of this? Some just profit. They don't even do anything. They just have a hold, a share. What do you call it? Yeah. So, yeah, and they just look at the numbers on the screen. Oh, look. Yeah, that's how some people live. It's weird, isn't it? It's definitely weird to people like us. I know, and then it's so sad, too, when that gets frowned upon. I'm not sure where and when did the problems arise. I know, trust me, there are people that have been with us for years. They know. Yeah, it's fucking sick and disturbing what's been going on here. Nothing to do with money. Nothing to do with money. No, we're the richest person in the world, so your money means nothing to us. Your status, your reputation, I don't care who the fuck you are. Yeah, someone is probably up the road murdering someone right now. Yep, and I'm talking to you. Boo. Anyways, much love, health, and peace to you all. If you have any other questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions as to how we can get news people and proper authorities to address the things we've been talking about. It seems like there are a lot of other people concerned as well. Not necessarily that they're in agreement with us about everything. especially when it comes to the things that they don't have the possibility of knowing with what information they have, except for your bullshit lies that just confuse situations and actually help aid and abet more crime. And that's just been happening for a long time. Compacting. And then we have a lot of explosions all over the place. Some are little, some are big. I'm not sure what an explosion means to you, but when a 4-year-old or a 3-year-old or a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old is getting tortured, beaten, abused, and raped and thrown in a trash can by over-medicated psychos who go right into this spiel of the voices, medication. They thought it was a dog. Really? I'm immediately, and it's so sad and scary. So yeah, those are lots of explosions going on around us in this world. I'm not sure what zone you live in. Are you on your way to target practice or target? It's a difference, huh? Yeah, in your world, there's a lot of practices and simulations. Yeah, we tried bringing that up to them decades ago about how many of them are living in these fake simulated fucking bubble worlds, profiting from the suffering of innocent Americans. And then they try to make those people out to be American haters because we hate their motherfucking asses and they're nasty, horrible fucking people and they deserve to be nailed to a fucking cross. We got a few if you need them. You know, we think we should string up Pelosi and Clinton. We have crosses if you need them. We're going to put them up on the roof. Yeah, we're going to string them up there, and then every night at midnight we're going to light them up. We've told you this. We call them the twin twats. It's already happened. We visualize it. We just did it again. Isn't that funny? Yep. It's always midnight somewhere. String them up! Fuck it, nasty whores. Anyways, I really hope the proper authorities here in Augusta, Maine do what they're supposed to do to help these children. Dear Lord, save yourselves. Really, save yourselves. You can do that by speaking the truth. Right here, if you have any other questions, comments, concerns. You need help with anything? You know, we can't build an engine, but we can wax the tires for you. Hubcaps. Do you wax hubcaps? Yeah, okay, so maybe something else. So wash the windows.